Good morning, Zio here, and today I would like to start with an apology to the Atari VCS stands out there. I have made a mistake. Yes, I have listened to you, and I quite frankly understand that I did miss some things. So in this video, we're going to go over some of the things that I have missed, like the lower price, among other things, that I think is quite informative for people to know and see before buying or purchasing this product. So, I apologize for not looking into it further, because it's still a train wreck. So let's get into it, shall we? So one of the things I didn't actually go and look at, because I went to the actual site for pricing and stuff, right? And what we talked about in the video last week, of course, was from actual Atari site, but this is Walmart.com looking up the base 400 unit, because there is a 400 and an 800 unit. Anyway, and the base unit itself is $249.99. It's $250 plus tax, which isn't really all that bad. You know, kind of for what it has, that actually isn't that bad, considering the thing is more or less a PC than it is a console, if anything, at this point in time. However, of course, that does not include the extras like, I don't know, the joystick. Or the controller that matches the console, of course. If you were to add all this in a bundle together, you are still looking at a $369.97, close to $400 when you add tax, or around $400 when you're around tax. So the price actually hasn't changed that much. It's just you can buy the system separate, right? Which is pretty cool. You're not forced into getting all this extra stuff, right? And the system itself, of course, starts, at the 249 mark. It is a mini PC hybrid console is what they're actually classifying this as. So it's, in a way, not as bad as I originally was thinking, because I thought they were just trying to push this off as some kind of, console type thing, right? And I mean, just from the stats, we already kind of knew that it was more of a PC rather than anything, with Linux booted on, very small hard drive space, essentially the ability to, I would say it's probably going to use the Linux program that I can't remember what it is, but Deep had told me about it or reminded me about it. I can't remember which. Anyway, he mentioned it to me about how, it can emulate Windows and other things on there, which actually does seem like that's probably the way they're going to go about it. They say, you can install another system, so the system is open because, it is Linux and stuff, and it's not like, a Windows machine or something. There's more to it, but at the same time, there's a lot of other things to do with it as well. But one of the things I didn't have was the upgrade capacities. Apparently, the RAM, which is DDR4, by the way, is a upgradable up to 32 gigs, which is not shabby at all. Or not too shabby. If I can get my syntax right with the correct words, we would be great. Anyway, 32 with a max limit of 32, that's actually not that bad at all. I think my PC's got 16 gigs in it these days. You got 16 in you, right? Anyway, so it's really not that bad at all, upgrade wise. With it's apparently got a few other things, of course. It's got the ADM Ryzen R1606G chip, which is not the best thing in the world. It's not 100% the worst thing in the world either. Yeah, it's better than what that PC has. And that PC's got a $30 graphics card in it. So, but yeah, I'm going to concede a little bit, right? Jokes aside from the beginning of this video, if you're still here, there are some things to concede about with it. But other than that, it's still somewhat of a joke. Not gonna lie. Mainly for everything else. When it comes to the components and stuff, maybe it's a little bit more closer than what it should be, right? But you know, you can build better. We'll just go with that. You can get yourself a 3D printed AMD an Atari looking box and slap something in it better. That would be a whole lot better, in my opinion. But yeah, if you want to get a joystick, because there was I did ask, you know, I did have people come at me for making this video, and I did ask, you know, what was so great about it? What makes this console succeed? Because on one hand, I do want it to succeed, right? I really do. I just love retro games and things like that, and I'd really like it to succeed. I just think the price is a bit on the steep side for what you're getting out of it, especially considering I can essentially build this thing right now, right here, sitting at my desktop, and have everything that system has and more, just from a few clicks, to be totally honest. And we're going to go through that, don't worry. Stick around. I'm going to show you how easy it is. But yeah, if you want a joystick, there's joysticks. They're out there. Type it into Google. That's what I did. They come in various sizes, various prices for different things, you know. But yeah, you've got joysticks, and with emulation software and stuff, it's not hard to set up the correct buttons to the correct spots and paths and everything. But this here is another thing that I feel like I somewhat touched on, but didn't really. They showed off that they can play Fortnite on it, right? And if your whole thing is to buy this Atari for Fortnite, whew, I feel sorry for you. Anyway, you're better off with a Switch, just saying. Buy the Switch. Anyway, yeah, when you look at this, there is a watermark on the bottom right hand of the thing, which makes me feel like they're emulating Windows. An or maybe they've installed an unactive version of Windows or something, but you know, there is Windows on there, and if they're playing Fortnite and it's through Windows, naturally, I guess, I am assuming that the Linux can't do that, and it has to boot up through Windows, which is a whole thing right there. But yeah, I honestly could not stand to play Fortnite with that watermark right there in the corner. I can't play any game with that there. That would drive me insane. But anyway, yeah, so there is no Fortnite dedicated app for the Atari VCS. Not yet, anyway, and as far as I know, Fortnite hasn't said anything about it. But then, of course, there's the other parts too, right? I'm sure we touched on this, but I didn't actually show it in action. This here is Netflix, right? They showed off that you can go to Netflix, you got Hulu and stuff. What they don't actually tell you when you're looking at these tests, or when they were giving the presentations or anything else like that, is this up here is a restore page for Google Chrome. There is, again, no dedicated app for the Atari VCS currently for Netflix, Hulu, or any of your other streaming services. It is literally open it up through the Chrome browser. And I hate using browsers when my only option is whatchamacallit, a keypad. Gosh, I don't know why I went to grab it. Is a controller, right? Luckily, however, this thing is apparently, here's a tip, here's some information you may not know, compatible with most USB devices. So whether it's probably this Xbox controller, I'm assuming will also work on it, but you can connect a USB. Oh gosh, excuse me. I'm just going to hiccup randomly into the mic. Gosh, okay. Anyway, and you can hook up any USB keyboard, that sort of thing, like this. Well, it's wireless, but you can hook up keyboard and mouse, that sort of thing, to it, which honestly isn't that bad at all for a small, tiny, compact computer. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up some prices to justify $400 for that thing, though. But the stuff it comes with, no, there's nothing in it that's worth all that. Now let's get into actually, what is it? Actually, building this thing right now without it coming out. What do you need to build an Atari VCS? You're going to need access to 100 Atari games. And, of course, you're going to have access to a browser for the Fortnites and the Netflix and stuff, which, of course, here's the browser portion. We're looking at it right now. The other thing you need is a thing called the Atari Vault. This is what is on the system, right? This has been out since 2016. It is currently out on Steam for $9.99. It is 100 of the most iconic Atari games from the 70s and the 80s. Now with online multiplayer capabilities, this extensive catalog includes classic Atari titles like Asteroid Centipede, Missile Command, and more, paired with intuitive new controls. So, for the people who are like, oh, well, it allows me to play these old games with newer hardware and stuff and newer controllers and things, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you've been able to do it since 2016. You just didn't know about it. No, but seriously. And of course, if you want even more, there is the Atari Vault 50 game add-on pack for an additional $4.99 with additional things inside as well. So, you know, there's that. So yeah, now you have everything that you need to make your Atari VCS right now without actually waiting for the system to come out. If you're watching on a computer or something, you have access to Steam, there you go. You now have the Atari VCS at your disposal, the entire thing at your disposal. Although there is one other thing. See, going through these tests here that I've been looking at, I have noticed some various things, right? Like we were looking at the Fortnite thing, and this is still the same number 30 test. This just happened to have a couple of things that caught my eye, like that, the Google thing. But then there's this here too, right? Under the games tab, you have the MegaVolt, which I'm assuming is going to be this right here. Why not? Why wouldn't it be? This is the Atari Vault. It's not really much of an assumption when it's true, right? Anyway, the Atari Vault, and considering it says MegaVolt, it might actually include the 50 additional pack here. So just a heads up. There's also another thing called Antstream, if you've noticed that on the screen. 1,000 plus retro games, and I was thinking, holy snap, really? Not only does this thing include the Vault, right? But it includes 1,000 plus other retro games. Which, of course, immediately makes me think back to those really bad system thingies they always try to shovel out for a few hundred or something, or for like $100 in the mall in those middle sections around the holidays and stuff. And like, yeah, there's 995 different classic games on here, and you've got like the same game 15 times posted in a list with different names. Yeah, those. That's kind of what it reminds me of. However, I don't know much about this service, so I had to do some digging. But apparently Antstream is a separate service altogether. If they have made something like a deal with Atari, which they could have, and I don't know. I have reached out to them, but I have yet to get a response. And to be totally honest, look at my size, I may not see a response from them ever. So we're just going to talk about it in hypotheticals, because I don't know if it's actually going to be included or if it's going to be on there, but it's something you're going to actually have to pay for. Why do I say pay for? Is because it is a service that is up that you can get right now. This is a service that you can actually go today to the site and pay for and actually have access to all of that stuff, from Asteroids, Space Invaders, Metal Slug X. Oh, I love the Metal Slug series. Anyway, Bubble Bobble, all sorts of different things here. I mean, Asteroids, isn't that an Atari game? Anyway, but yeah, you can go and you can straight up subscribe to it. It is a subscription-based streaming service that streams arcade games. Remember when we were talking about the thing over in Japan? Gosh, who was it who was doing it? I can't remember right now. And I was like, that'd be really cool, you know, and stuff. Turns out we have access to something similar here in the States after all. This is it right now. But you do have an annual and a monthly version to pay for. You can buy it in bulk for like a year or 2 years, something like that, or you can pay for it monthly with a 7-day trial for free, and you can access it from several things. You can play Antstream Arcade on your terms, whether at home on your computer or Amazon Fire Stick, or on the go with your Android mobile or tablet device. Retro gaming has never been more fun and accessible, and I kind of like it, to be totally honest. I'm not gonna lie. I know I do a lot of emulation and stuff, but I kind of like this idea altogether right here. Just anyway, it makes me a little giddy. But yeah, so this is a thing that's happening. How much is it going to cost? Of course, I found this. I couldn't really find anything in US dollars. I would have to actually probably sign up for this thing to get the actual information of current cost, but it looks like it's going to be $9.99 a month, or $7.99 a month if you buy a full year in one big bulk go. Either way, you always get a 7-day free trial every time your subscription purchased directly through the website, which is actually that's actually kind of cool. It'd be really awesome to subscribe to an MMO, have a monthly reoccurring fee, and every time they take that, they give you 7 free days before they start counting down the actual time you bought. That would be cool. Why can't we do that? Anyway, that's how the subscription actually works. And there is another thing. It's an Atari token. I'm not sure how to really go about talking about this, because this one is a bit out of my wheelhouse, although it sounds pretty interesting in a way, because I was thinking, you know, it's kind of like crypto, kind of not at the same time, but kind of is, just with the way it was described. I think I'm going to just look into it a bit more and do another video on it altogether, but not today, because it's still confusing the heck out of me how that one works a little bit. But yeah, so that is some of the stuff that I missed on this the first time around. All those people who got angry with me for not including everything. There you go. I have now included even more that I missed beforehand. There's still a lot of red flags here. Is it a $400 console? Absolutely not. Avoid it for $400. Is it a $250? Not really. I mean, Linux. No, it's not. I'm not even going to attempt to justify that. I'm sorry. I know I tried to justify it earlier, but I'm not. I can go ahead and go download Linux right now and set it up on my computer if I really, really wanted to. It doesn't cost you a thing. You know, it's out there for whatever you want to do it with. It's open source, open code. But yeah, the Atari VCS, still a dumpster fire right now. Until they offer something better than what they're offering, it is not worth the money, in my opinion. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.